Hi, I'm John Alvarez, and this is Instrumental. I was brought up in the brigade system where, head chef all the way down to your dishwasher. And as soon as I saw this poster, it was comical, but also the way I was feeling at the time. And I remember looking at that poster when I bought it, hung it like right next to my bed. I wanted to be that guy cracking that whip, being called chef, yes chef, no chef. But as I got older, I realized that's not really what I wanted to do. So I'm 20 at the time, about to turn 21. Just enrolled in the Cordon Bleu, and I'm just constantly just learning. So wake up at 6 o'clock, go to school for 7. As soon as I'm done school, I change out of my school clothes, get into my chef whites, and head to work. I remember my first day at Wolfgang Puck. I went to my chef at the time and I asked, how do I get to learn that station? I've been on this station scooping mashed potatoes, peeling potatoes, and so forth for about 9 months. He goes, you have to go and take it from that person. Being a bully in the kitchen only gets you so far, but being persistent is another way of thinking about it. I stood next to this guy named Casey, and Casey's like, what are you doing? I don't know, man. They asked me to stand here. He looked at me and deadpan right in my eyes and goes, are you taking my job? He shut down, stopped showing me what was happening. Executive chef was on me all night. That really was like the point where I'm like, hey, I don't need to make friends in this environment, and I'm gonna take the positions that I want. I feel like I'm sometimes like a pregnant lady where I have moods. And I feel the same way when I get inspired to cook. So sometimes I feel Indian, sometimes I feel sushi, but it always ranges. And I always get this question as a chef, that being, what's your favorite thing to cook? What's your favorite food? I'm like, I don't have one. I love it all. So one restaurant I used to work at in Orlando was a fine dining Hawaiian restaurant. And I remember my chef at the time goes, why don't you ever say hello to me? I'm like, I didn't know I was allowed. The whole front house, back house, we called each other ohana. You did feel that camaraderie, that family aspect. And that's what I kind of took from there to bring to my restaurants. As I get older and as I open more restaurants, I realize that I'm in the business of growing chefs. So it's not all just about me. Without my team, I can't really do anything. You don't get a lot of progress by yelling and screaming at people. Taking time and building these individuals into better chefs, better cooks, better people. I always tell a new hire, you gotta learn everything. Everybody washes dishes here. Everybody makes salads. Everybody drops fryers and makes tacos, calls board. Everybody has to learn those positions. Because the way that Rosemary and I structure our restaurants is that if you're good, we'll have you jump around to different restaurants. Opportunity to grow and learn, if you want it. Every time I hire somebody, I always tell them, I'm building a family, not a team. So communicate, back of the house, front of the house, they're always talking, so it's a community. What I'm most proud of is what I've accomplished so far in Windsor. I moved from Las Vegas, and I had $300 in my pocket. Now I have 4 restaurants working on multiple projects and build a lot of friends and community around myself to where if I fall, somebody will pick me up. First time I moved to Windsor, it was around October, September. So it was very gray for a really long time and I was not working. And I was like, I don't know if I made the right choice. So not knowing a lot about the food scene here, which I came to find out that it was very meat and potatoes, right? So we got the big 3, a lot of blue collar, but people love to come out and eat. When I first came to the Gourmet Emporium, I was doing Las Vegas grade dishes, and people weren't understanding what a braised pork belly and a blueberry compote was. They're like, what kind of burgers do you guys have? Then we opened up F&B Walkerville. We were there for about 3.5 years, and we did some great things. It was always progressive, so every week, our menu would change. We would find things that were seasonal, talk to farmers, and just kind of have fun doing it. We're pushing out fine dining dishes on a 4-burner glass top that I picked up from Home Depot. Towards the end of it, we're on their number 6 oven, still rocking. I think it's at Tallulah now. During that time, we had an opportunity to set up a shop on Drouillard. It was a risk, but coming from Baltimore, people were like, oh, Drouillard's it's a bad street. I didn't really understand it because I walk around and be like, it's pretty nice, Right before we were ready to open, maybe a month away, my panic ruptured. I almost died, but I didn't know. I'm like, I just felt like I had to poop. Yeah, I was in the hospital for almost a month. This place opened shortly after that. There's no place like that around here, where it's not traditional. We don't ever claim to be traditional Mexican. Opening a brand new restaurant in Juilliard that's been neglected for such a long time, we're a working kitchen. So we're always just going, evolving. It's a great feeling. So now being about 2 years into Cantina, we had an opportunity to open up Tula Cafe, or reopen rather. It was important to reopen it, but not change. Looking at the menu, talking with some of the staff that's been there since the beginning for 14 years, realized that that's their home. I don't want to change too much. When we first opened, I didn't want to be, oh, that's Chef John's place. I just want to kind of be in the background, making sure they had the tools they needed to be successful. I never really want to be a figurehead anywhere. I just want to do a good job and just be in the background and making sure people are happy. So that's my job. Slice's brand was around late 90s, early 2000s, before I moved here. So we had F&B space, which we had this whole restaurant sitting empty. We tried to do F&B food at Cantina during the pandemic on the weekends, but it's not the same. And the guys from Slice's I've known for years, and I know how hard they work, and it was a right move. And having friends just saying, I remember Slice's, but usually I'm half in the bag. But now, people around my age are like, hey, it's better than what I remember it. So the next restaurant that is due to open sometime soon is, we're gonna call it Funky Chow Kitchen, FCK for short. It's gonna be Pan-Asian, planning on doing sushi, dusting off the old sushi knives. We don't ever plan to have cream cheese in the house, just all about the fish, really good quality. Also bring back oysters with F&B cocktails. After that is open, we plan on opening up in the Power Building, which will be a fine dining steakhouse. So having a dry aging room as soon as you walk in, and centerpiece would be a custom grill made in Michigan. It's all wood burning, top quality steaks, dry aged in-house, custom cuts, even talking to knife makers about just making us steak knives. So it is just very unique to where when you come in, you can have a steak knife that is in a locked closet on display, just waiting for you to come in. Place that I haven't visited that I'd like to go would be Japan. I feel like there's just so much culture. I'm really into chef knives, so going in, being able to go to a fish market and then going to a master knife maker and kind of just pick out pretty much toys of what I want. I think that would be the best thing ever. So I'm working on a feature. I got soft shell crab, so I'm gonna do a soft shell crab and beef tostada. Just taking soft shell crab, dusting it in seasoned flour, then I'm gonna fry it in duck fat. When I put the soft shell crab taco on the menu, I had thoughts of growing up in Maryland, and I remember my mom driving home from work, and there'd be crab mongers on the side of the road on the highway, and so she would go buy soft shell crabs in the summertime. And then when she got home, we would make BLTs, but with soft shell crab, really thick bacon. So it was just memories of growing up. So here we like to play around with a lot of features just to keep it interesting. Our menu doesn't change very often, but for our patrons' sake, we always like to have fun and exciting things every time they come back. Then they get upset when we take it off. A little baby soft shell crab just came out of the duck fat fryer, just reheating these refried beans. We use this as our base. Adding some refried beans to our duck fat tostada shell. Everything we do in here is made in-house. So our barbacoa tacos, we take whole shoulders of beef, we marinate them overnight, and then they go in the oven covered for 6 hours. Seasoned soft shell crab, so we cut in half. You can add a little bit of lettuce, fresh serrano chilies, which are my favorite, some avocado, some fresh cilantro, finish it off with some scallions. I like using the whites too, it's a little more texture. Some pickled red onions as well. Call it a day. We never claim to be a traditional Mexican restaurant here, but we like to play with flavors. Are you gonna bring in that clip of me talking about Jenko jeans in the 90s? That'd be really cool. Yeah, I used to wear Jenko jeans and drink Surge.